In this section, we're going to take a high-level look at what WebAssembly is and how we can use it in Rust. WebAssembly, abbreviated as WASM, is a binary instruction format for a stack-based virtual machine. It is designed as a portable compilation target for allowing deployment on the web for client and server applications. WASM is designed to be efficient and fast by executing at native speed and taking advantage of common hardware capabilities available on a wide range of platforms. Like most concepts, the best way to gain an understanding is to see it and then do it, so let's jump into using Rust by starting out setting up our environment to allow us to use WebAssembly. The first thing we are going to do is install wasm-pack, which is a one-stop shop for building, testing, and publishing WebAssembly created by Rust. And luckily, it's a very easy install for us. Just head to rustwasm.github.io/wasm-pack/installer. And if you are on Windows, which I am, then you will just download and run this executable. But if you're on Linux, then you run this command down here and follow the on-screen instructions. So I've already installed it, and it's a very quick install. So once you have installed it, then continue on with this video. So the next thing we are going to install is Cargo Generate. And this is going to help us get up and running quickly with a new Rust project using a template that we can get from a Git repo. So to install it, we just run cargo install cargo generate. And I've already installed it to help with the time of this video. It will take a couple of minutes or so to install, so please pause the video and then resume it once you have completed the installation. And then once you have Cargo Generate installed, then the last thing we need is npm, which is packaged with Node.js. So head over to the Node.js website and download Node. I have downloaded the latest long-time support version, which at this time is 16.15.0. So that's what I recommend as well. And then one thing to do when you have finished installing node/npm, I recommend just exiting out of Visual Studio Code and then restarting it, because node and npm will be added to your path variable that the terminal uses. So in order for the terminal to get the new path variable, I would just recommend restarting Visual Studio Code. That way you have access to npm and node from the command line. And that's all we had to do to get set up using WebAssembly. So now we can start creating our first project using WebAssembly. So we are going to run cargo generate git, and we're going to get a template from the Rust WASM GitHub. So it is github.com/rustwasm/wasm-pack template. And it will pull it down for us, and it's going to ask us for a project name. I'm going to name ours WASM Game of Life, because we are going to create the game of life to get an understanding of how WebAssembly works. And I'll explain what game of life is in the preceding lectures. So you see that we have a bunch of files and a couple of directories generated for us. And if we look inside of source and then librs, we see that we have an extern block with an alert function in here. And if you come from a JavaScript or TypeScript background, then this might make you wonder, okay, is this referring to the JavaScript alert function? And it is. So we're able to access the JavaScript alert function using an extern block and then referencing the function name. And so what we're going to do by running this template is we're going to call our greet function inside of our our wasm executable per se, and our greet function is going to call on the JavaScript alert function, and we're going to print out hello wasm game of life. So in order for us to run our wasm, the first thing we need to do is change into our new directory, which mine was wasm game of life, and then inside of here we're going to run wasm-pack build, and it's going to compile for us, and it's going to generate a new directory for us called package, or PKG for short. And inside of PKG you see that we have a bunch of additional files created for us. And inside of our package directory, as I said, you see that we have JavaScript, TypeScript, which we can now work with on getting into a web page. So inside of the directory we're currently in, we're going to run npm install, or excuse me, npm init for initialize wasm app, and then www. And this is going to give us a new folder, a new www folder that's really important for us. So we need to switch into that directory and run npm install. And npm install is going to install the Webpack JavaScript bundler and its development server. And once it's completed, we now want to reference our wasm project. So for us to do that, we go into the www folder. We're going to go into this package.json file, and below home page and above dev dependencies, we're going to add a new dependency for ourselves. And ours is going to be the name of our project, so wasm game of life, and then we're going to reference where it's at. So from here it is up one directory, and then inside the package, that directory that we generated using wasm-pack build. And then once we do that, we can head over to we'll save that file. We can head over to index.js inside of our www directory, and up here we're going to say wasm game of life. So now we will run npm install again, and it will install our wasm game of life dependency, and now we can run npm run start. And we see that we compiled successfully. So now we can head over to our browser and go to localhost 8080, and we see that we have the hello wasm game of life alert, which, if you remember, is what we did here, right? So we're using the JavaScript alert function, and then inside of our index we see we have wasm.greet, and we are calling our Rust function greet. And so now we have successfully set up, built, and ran our first WebAssembly project. So what we will do from here is now we will go and create the game of life. That way we can really dive into how WebAssembly works when we use Rust.